You're a product leader, right? You live and die by your metrics. But what if? What if the very metric your team is crushing is actually killing your business? Let's talk about something really dangerous. It's called the leading indicator trap.
Just let that sink in for a second. This quote from Teresa Torres, man, it just nails the problem, doesn't it? We're talking months, maybe even years of hard work from your team, potentially for nothing. That is a terrifying thought for any leader. And that really forces the question, right? Is your team just busy? Are they just shipping features and moving a number on a dashboard? Or are they actually creating real, tangible business value? Let's dig into that difference. So to really get our heads around this trap, let's look at a cautionary tale, a story about a team that did everything by the book and ended up getting it horribly wrong. So, picture this. You've got a team. Let's call them the engagement team. Their whole mission, their product outcome, is to get people to spend more time in the app. And you know what? They are absolutely crushing it. Every sprint, every feature launch, that number just goes up and to the right. High fives all around.
But here's the thing. While everyone's celebrating the engagement numbers, something else is happening. Something disturbing. The lagging indicator, you know, the one the CFO actually cares about, customer churn? Yeah, that's also ticking up. How is that even possible? How can both of these things be true?
And then the team does a cohort analysis, and what they find is just devastating. The users who were the most engaged, the ones spending all that time in the app, they were the ones most likely to leave. The team's success was literally frustrating their best customers right out the door.
And that right there, that's the leading indicator trap in a nutshell. It's when you fall in love with a leading indicator like time in app, assuming it drives the business. But that connection, that assumption turns out to be a fantasy.
So, how do we not fall into this trap? Well, there's a framework for that. It's a way to make all those hidden, dangerous assumptions totally visible, so you can build a strategy that's actually built to last.
Okay, it's called the outcome impact chain, and it breaks our logic down into 4 simple steps. First, there's the output. That's the thing we ship. Then that gets some initial traction. People start using it. This, we hope, leads to a product outcome, a real change in user behavior. And finally, we assume that new behavior drives the business outcome. You know, the thing that actually matters to the company.
But here's the kicker. Those arrows connecting the steps, they aren't solid lines. They're not guaranteed. They are massive, unproven assumptions. We call them leaps of faith.
You know, most of us in product, we're pretty good at testing that first leap. We ask, hey, will people use this new feature? But we almost always forget to test the second, much more dangerous leap. Okay, so they're using it, but does that actually help the business? And that second leap of faith, that's where the trap snaps shut. So, this whole diagnostic tool comes together in this chain. For any project you're working on, you can literally map it out. What did we ship? Did it get used? Did it change user behavior? And then the killer question, did that new behavior actually move the needle on revenue or churn? It forces you to look that second dangerous leap of faith right in the eye.
Okay, so we've seen the problem, we have the framework. Now for the most important part. How do you, as a leader, actually put this into practice to protect your teams and, well, your business? All right, for leaders, this changes the game. First, you have to be crystal clear about the business outcome you expect from any product outcome. No more fuzzy goals. Second, you have to challenge that connection. Constantly ask your teams, how do we know this will work? What's our evidence? Third, and this is a big one, stop declaring victory too early. A spike in a leading indicator is just a signal, not success. The only victory is when that lagging business metric moves. And finally, you got to create a culture where proving a metric is wrong is celebrated as a win, because that team just saved everyone a ton of time and money.
Okay, this all sounds good in theory, right? But let's make it super practical. What's the one thing you can do on, say, Monday morning to start using this right away?
It's actually this simple. Get your team together, put your current project on a whiteboard, and map out this exact chain, from your product outcome all the way to the business outcome. Your job, as their leader, is to find the leap of faith. Find that one giant assumption everything is resting on. Because finding it isn't a sign of failure. It's the first real step toward building something that actually matters.